Hello Year 11 and welcome to Algebra Lesson 4. Today we're going to continue with solving equations but focus on how we can apply our skills to problem solving, and the majority of this lesson will be for you to practice some exam questions. So I'm going to run through a few examples. A lot of these questions focus on algebra, area and perimeter type questions. So here we have a rectangle where we're given the width and the length in algebra. And the information we're given is the perimeter of this rectangle is 18 centimetres. Find the length of the smallest side. So what we've got to do is think about how we can create an expression for the perimeter, which we can then make equal to 18 centimetres, since that's what we've been told it is. So to find the perimeter of this rectangle, we're going to add up the lengths of all four sides. And so that will look like 2x add 4x minus 3 add 2x add 4x minus 3. Now there is a bit more of an efficient way you can do that by saying, well, it's going to be 2 lots of 2x and then 2 lots of 4x subtract 3. So you could also do it that way. And now I've got to collect my like terms. So I have 2x add 4x add 2x add 4x. Which all together will give me 12x. And then I've got subtract 3 and another subtract 3. So all together subtract 6. Just over here is what I was explaining before. You could do as a more efficient method, 2 lots of 2x, add 2 lots of 4x, subtract 3. So I'm now going to take that expression for the perimeter and say, well, I've been told it's equal to 18. So I can make that equal to 18. And I've now created an equation using the information I've been given. And I can now solve that equation. So just like we've been doing in previous lessons, I'm going to add 6 to both sides to give me 12x is equal to 24. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 12 to give me x is equal to 2. So I have an answer for x, but that actually isn't the answer to the question, because the question was find the length of the smallest side. So I'm now going to use my value for x and substitute it in. Substitute it in so that I've got 2 times by x, 2 times by 2 in other words, which is 4 centimetres. So the answer to my question is going to be 4 centimetres is the length of the smallest side. Okay, next example here, I've got find the perimeter of this rectangle, but I haven't been told anything about what any of these sides are equal to. I've just got expressions in terms of algebra. So the key is to think about how you can make an equation. What things do we have here that are equal to each other? Because if I can find two things that are equal, then I can form an equation. So in this case, I know that this length must be equal to this length. So 5x subtract 6 must be equal to 3x add 10. And that's where my equation comes from. So now that I've set up that equation, I can solve it and find a value for x. So here I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides so that I get 2x subtract 6 is equal to 10. And then I'm going to add 6 to both sides so that I get 2x is equal to 16. And then finally divide both sides by 2, so x is equal to 8. And again, that isn't the answer to this question, it's just the value for x. So the question says find the perimeter of this rectangle. So I have now got to use my value for x to work out the length of this side and the length of this side. And once I know that, I can find the perimeter of my rectangle. So I could have chosen 5x subtract 6 to work out the length of this side and substituted x equals 8 in, but I've gone for this one. So 3x add 10, and I now know that x is equal to 8. So 3 lots of x add 8. Use big maths, which tells you to do multiplication before addition. So that will give me 24 add 10, which is 34. So that's the length of my rectangle. And now to find the width, I'm going to have 2x, in other words, 2 lots of 8, which gives me 16. And now I know both sides of my rectangle, I can say that the perimeter is going to be 2 lots of 34 add 2 lots of 16, which is 72 add 32, and that gives me 104 centimetres. Okay, so I'm going to upload this worksheet separately for you, but you will find a worksheet attached to the assignment today, which has lots of exam questions where you can practice your solving equations skills. So the idea is to look for the things that are equal so that you can make an equation. Sometimes that will be you're told, for example, that the perimeter is a certain value and you can work out an expression for the perimeter also. Sometimes, like in this first example, you're told that the areas of these rectangles are equal. So if you can find an expression for the area of rectangle A and an expression for the area of rectangle B, you can then make those two expressions equal and solve the equation. These are challenging, so you're going to need to take a bit of time to give this your best shot, and then tomorrow I will upload the mark scheme for these exam questions so that you can take a look at how you got on. No need to pause the video today because I will upload this as a separate worksheet to the assignment.